Hey, this is Bill Mosley. I'm Chop Top, I'm Otis, I'm Luigi Largo, and Johnny from Night of the Living Dead, and you're listening to the Horror Squad Podcast.
Hello, welcome back to the Horror Squad Podcast, episode number 388. Tonight we're talking about Rob Zombie's The Devil's Rejects, which came out in 2005 this summer. Go to hell. I'm one of your co-host, Todd. We have Steve. We are Joeless. He is pulling all-nighter double shifts at work, so we miss him, but we send him our best. Steve, what's up, man?
A lot. There's a lot to announce today. First and foremost, this is huge for our podcast. Joe and I had the pleasure of getting an interview, maybe one of our biggest, maybe our biggest, who knows, interview ever for this episode, and that is with the absolutely amazing Lin Shaye, as announced last week. So you could hear that interview at the end of the episode. She's here to promote a new movie called House of Abraham, which is now out in select theaters. I didn't watch it, unfortunately, because I didn't have time, but Joe did, so he'll review it next week. But spoiler alert, he really liked it. So definitely something to check out, and you definitely want to stay for the interview at the end of the episode where we talked to Lin Shaye, and she was so fucking cool. Like
Yeah,
such a
she a delight.
oh my God, yeah, so nice. And she actually like says that she knows about our podcast, so
Hmm.
I have it
Cool.
on tape, you know. So that's all that counts, right?
You should have asked her, do you remember Todd who you met like 15 years ago? Oh yeah, I remember.
Right? Did you get her to sign something or just
Yeah, I got her to sign I met her when 2001 Maniacs first came out, so that was
okay.
probably around when Devil's Rejects came out. I think that was like what,
Yeah, around that
2006
time.
or something like that. And she signed an 8 by 10. So yeah, she was a sweetheart when I met her, and I can't imagine she's changed because she seems pretty down to earth.
Yeah, she was super cool both during the interview and like the little bit before and after there.
Very cool.
Also, the next movie club is on the day this episode releases, where we will be watching a movie called Sharktopus versus Terracuda, which is a pterodactyl mixed with a barracuda,
Oh,
and of course a shark
naturally.
with a with an octopus fighting each other. It's actually the third movie in this series. I've seen Sharktopus, which I thought was like surprisingly good, and I'm about to watch Sharktopus versus I think it's called Whale Wolf, and that one actually stars Casper Van Dien. So
Oh,
I'm in.
very cool.
Weirdly enough, we talked about this last week. I think Conan O'Brien is listed as a cast member in all three films in this series. So I'll have to find out what the fuck that's about when I watch them. But one last shout out that I want to do to a brand new listener by the name of Aria, who was just born like a few weeks ago. So yeah, already listening to our podcast. So shout out to Aria, absolutely beautiful baby, and congratulations to her mother. Yeah, amazing, and I look forward to seeing more pictures, and hope you enjoy the podcast, Aria.
Let's just keep the shout outs going. Steve, you had a big Saturday.
I
You
did,
started you were filming a
and
chunk
Sunday,
and Sunday.
a little bit Sunday too. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah,
So give us an update.
I'm like into production now, you know. I started doing the intro after seeing fucking Todd's intro. I'm like, God, I'm gonna have to step up my game here. That was a really cool intro. So,
Thanks, man.
yeah, so I filmed.
Sneaking on federal workers is definitely not advised, but hey, I got away with it. So
Yeah, so I filmed like my intro, and I did a little bit of, you know, things I don't want to talk about, but yeah, really looking forward to getting the rest done. I'm starting off because I'm like getting used to the camera with kind of easier things, and then progress into more of the horror things, which is going to be really exciting because I've been testing, certain effects and stuff like that because, all practical, baby. There's no
oh hell yeah.
no CGI in mind. So yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. So I'm looking forward to filming some more, a little bit every night. This weekend I have a long weekend, so that's gonna help me a lot too. So yeah.
Very cool. I'm glad you had a good time, man. And
Mhm.
there, speaking of digital effects, there are three digital effects in my movie. Three.
Yeah,
But they're
I see digital effects like separate from like just CGI. Like
yeah.
sometimes it just enhances. It's not like you're doing fake
Yeah,
blood and
it's an
stuff like that.
enhancement. Yeah, it's you know what's funny though? Like I looked at when I was doing a very big kill, like I did it all practical. like you're doing, but I looked at it like Digital Blood and I put it on there just to play around. It looks so awful
It does, yeah.
that I don't know like how a filmmaker can see that and be like, "Yep, that's good." Unless
I
they're
know.
going for that, but it's just so ugh. But hey, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, like I took just out of curiosity, I changed my pool color to like blood, just as a like an after effect, and it looks really cool. So that might be like some kind of
I don't
stuff I
count that.
do,
Yeah, I don't count that.
but I wouldn't like actually do like kills are all absolutely
Right.
practical, and blood is all going to be practical, and like yeah, I might enhance things just to make
Mhm.
it funnier or things like that. But yeah, that's all.
Yeah, no, like my digital effects are muzzle flashes. That's it. So
Yeah, right.
I can't
Yeah,
really simulate
yeah.
those.
That's something that you could blow smoke from like
That
behind the camera.
this is from cigarettes, yeah.
Yeah, from a
Or
cigarette.
damn, I should have got like a party popper and held
Yeah,
it
there
on the
you
side of the gun
go.
and fire. Dude, that actually be pretty cool. Maybe. No, I'm not reshooting
No,
it now.
no,
I'm fucking done.
you're done.
I'm
Yeah.
done. I'm wrapped up. All right, cool. So we got a lot of stuff in the works here, and hopefully we can get some behind the scenes shots of you filming, and I can upload those on the
Yep,
campaign and
absolutely.
Discord and all that shit. Oh, one more thing too. We're in a killer heat wave. I know up there
Fuck
in
yeah.
Canada, down here in the United States, and it's fucking insane. So drink a lot of water, people. Stay indoors if you can. If you're an outside worker, make sure you hydrate and all that crap because it's hot as fuck, man. Jeez. All right. What we doing? News? What watched?
No news. That's Joe's thing. So
Mm,
he kind of bailed on us like an hour ago. So
what a
so let's go
turd.
straight to what watched.
All right.
You want to go first with the movie that we both watched?
We talking found footage, the making of the Patterson Project?
Oh yes.
All right. So we got we're lucky enough to get a screener from this project. And this one is directed by Mr. Max Tizant. And yeah, so it's about a filmmaker that we follow the director as he's getting this project together. And the basis of his project is he's going to go to the woods and have a character to follow Bigfoot around because Patterson was one of the guys that filmed like the alleged real life Patterson Gimli Bigfoot footage of what 1960 something or whatever. So like we're going to go back to the forest with their granddaughter or grandson and we're going to figure out what's going on. So we're watching them as they make the movie. And then, of course, they might have done something in the cabin that they're renting for the film that might have summoned some evil entity. So half of it is like, found not well, yeah, I guess found footage, mockumentary, things like that, documentary, and the other half is horror. I loved it, man. I was so into it. Steve got me on it. He's like, you need to watch this because I rarely watch the screeners because it's
Yeah.
just hard to coordinate. So I put it on the computer, watched it. I was into it. I love the making of films. I'm always a sucker for people making movies. I love the director. I connected with him instantly. It was just so much fun, man. Like from making the movie we just made to like some of the stuff when I did when I was younger. It's just like I don't know. It's hard to describe unless like you've been in that position too, to appreciate
Yeah.
what they're going through.
Mhm. Yeah, you know it's something special because I don't tell Todd often to watch a screener. So if I do, it's usually because I really think it's something that he should check out. I think the last one might have been that fucking Casper Van Dien cheese one. Like, I don't really remember the name of it, but
Mad Heidi.
Mad Heidi. Yeah,
Didn't you tell me to watch the brothers who are special needs? They made a
yeah. That
movie
that that wasn't.
that wasn't a screener though.
Oh no, it was a screener. That's right. Yeah, How to Make a Zombie Movie.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that was another. See, again, because
Making of yeah.
making of low budget horror movies, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, I, it's right now happens to be a really good time for a movie like this, because we're going through the paces and there's these little things that they do in this movie that like we can relate to, like standing over your friends because that's the only position you can get for the camera shot. Him
Yeah.
like smoking behind the scenes to get smoke off like out of an engine and just these like little things that we're all forced to do. So yeah, I really enjoyed it as well. I will say though that like by an hour in, I was getting a little kind of fatigued with it because it wasn't really going anywhere other than them like completing their
hmm
film in the film. And I feel that the horror, although really fucking cool when it does come in, comes in a little too late and feels a bit too rushed.
Yeah.
But holy shit, that like 10 minutes where the horror does come in is actually really, really cool
Mhm.
and just a different vibe than the rest of the film, which is interesting. So yeah, I dug this one. I thought it was really cool.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. And it they had subtle nods to it, like when they're carrying like a trunk across the threshold, and you're like, oh shit, that was a pentagram, and obviously they broke a spell or something. But like, yeah, I felt that they should have had more. It should have had more like umph to it because there's a
Hmm.
scene where one of the characters is like possessed and they record him, and like you would think that'd be like a huge red flag. Like,
Right?
fuck, dude, like at 2 a.m. I was screaming my head off, but they don't mention it again. And then 30 minutes pass before anything happens again. I'm like, that's kind of. So I think the pacing with the horror aspects was a little off, but I just had such a good time, and it was so funny too. Like, man, we both felt this when like you would have your friends and they would change their mind on filming day to do
Yeah,
something or something.
right.
And then I laughed too. The hardest I laughed was when one of the characters didn't understand that he was shooting
Oh yeah,
POV and he
right.
didn't know how to use a camera. So like it cuts to the director like laying underneath him
Mm,
and
yeah.
pretending to be the camera. It was just so funny. So yeah, when you guys I have no idea if this is doing a festival run or what's
So
the
it's
deal.
actually coming out. It just came out in theater for like a one weekend type deal,
Very cool.
and by the time this podcast comes out, it'll be on digital. So
Very cool. Yeah,
yeah.
I liked it a lot. I highly recommend it. Did you? I give it a 4 out of 5. What about you?
I gave 3.5 just because like it does slow down and the
Mhm.
horror stuff kind of you know too rushed and everything. But yeah, it was still a really cool film that I would highly recommend to people checking out.
Oh,
So my first one is a 2025 film that I watched over on Prime, I think, and that is Presence. So Presence is it's kind of this interesting story where the whole movie is from the point of view of a ghost. So the like it's almost like watching a play in a way because it's always in the POV shot. It's just one ghost in one house watching this family that moves in and they're going through like different troubles. And the daughter in particular just lost her best friend and her best friend died and she's kind of trying to help her out through things and then there's guys that are trying to take advantage of her and the ghost kind of tries to help her out and then there are a few twists and turns and stuff like that which I won't give away. This is one that Joe had seen maybe in theaters, and he had warned me that it's not super horror. Like it's more drama and I guess a little bit of thriller than it is horror. Although near the end, there's a little bit more horror that comes into it. I really like the whole POV ghost thing. I think it's an interesting way of telling a story. It kind of reminded me a little bit of that John Cho movie where it's all like online. I don't even remember the name of it.
the one during COVID?
Yeah, it was like around
Uh,
COVID time, and then they made a sequel. But anyway, whatever that movie was, it's like sometimes these gimmicks can get old.
Searching or something
Searching,
like
yeah,
that.
that's
Yeah.
right. Sometimes these gimmicks get really old quickly, but in this one, I didn't feel it. It just gave the whole story like a little bit more of a dynamic feel than it normally would. So I would recommend it. I think it's a cool concept and worth watching. Just don't go into it expecting a horror movie. I give it 3 to 5 stars. Not one I'd rewatch or anything like that, but yeah, definitely noteworthy.
Cool. All right, my next one up is Mr. Dawn of the Dead from 1978, my favorite film. Yeah, so I just did Living Dead Weekend, and I had planned to watch this at the hotel, but I forgot the fucking remote control to the Blu-ray player like an idiot. So I came back and I threw it on VHS and watched it. I mean, we covered this, and I've talked about it a billion times. It's my favorite film. I love the characters. I love their dynamic. I love the growth that every character has in this film, from Fran being kind of useless to being this tough chick at the end, to Roger being a level-headed cop to just fucking losing his mind, and Steven Flyboy being a just fucking little kind of a weenie and just going badass, and then Roger, I mean Peter, man, Peter's my man. He's just a badass the entire film. But yeah, it sucks because every time I watch this movie, um, Steven still gets bit and killed. Roger still gets bit, loses his mind, and gets shot in the head. And Fran and Peter take off. We don't know what happened to them, so that sucks because you can't change it. Because I love this character so much.
Yeah,
And of course, go ahead.
so Steven, I get for some reason, but every fucking time I watch Dawn of the Dead, I have hope that Roger won't get bit.
Yeah, Roger, what are you
I
doing?
don't know why, but like it just bums me out so bad.
I know. I just want fucking Peter just to slap him.
All
Like
right,
he and he sticks his leg. Whatever.
right.
He sticks his leg out. He gets bit like a fucking idiot, and he just loses his mind. And and especially after being to that mall now, it's just like I don't know. Like I think of it differently. Like, oh, this actually happened, and I was in this location, and
Right.
So I don't know. It's just fun. I love that movie. If you haven't seen it, just go see it. It's very hard to find though, because the stupid rights issues are all
Yeah.
over the place. But there's so many good editions, the DVD, Blu-ray, tape, all that stuff, 4K, all that shit you can grab it. So Dawn of the Dead, 5 star.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really a bummer that the rights are like so locked up and everything like that,
Yeah,
you know.
it sucks.
Almost every other Romero film is so easy to come across, but this
Hmm.
one, pain in the ass. All right, so my last one this week is part of my annual, Discord challenge where someone from the Discord sends me a movie to watch, and I send them a movie back for them to watch. This month it was with Kayla, so shout out to Kayla, the same Kayla who gives us trivia questions. So the one that she gave me was 2016's Soul Station. So Soul Station is in the universe of Train to Busan, and it takes place kind of at the same time slash a little bit before Train to Busan, where it's like basically the first day of the zombie outbreak in Korea. It is animated, I should mention that. So it's basically a few stories going on where these different groups are trying to get away from the zombie apocalypse happening around them, and it's up to the characters to find some kind of safe haven where they can get away from the zombies, including one where it's a girl and her dad, question mark. And then there's her boyfriend who's also trying to find that girl, and the stories kind of interconnect in different ways. So I won't go too much more than that. I, it's just I'm not a big anime fan to begin with, so that hurts it a little bit. I just don't super love the art style of anime, and this one, it kind of meanders for the majority of the runtime. It's cool because it's zombies. I fucking love the Train to Busan world. I actually thought the third, well, I guess second or third film, depending on how you see it, was actually decent. Not Train to Busan level good, but decent. And this one just doesn't really do anything for that world. It didn't need to even be part of that world, to be honest. It wouldn't change a thing. So, other than a twist at the end that really caught me by surprise, and I felt they had a lot of balls to go that way. I wouldn't personally recommend this one. I gave it 2 out of 5 stars. So that's Soul Station, which you can watch over on Tubi. And just as a side note, I gave Kayla, in exchange for this one, hashtag alive, which we talked about a lot on
So
our
good.
podcast. She gave it 3.5 out of 5. She
Okay.
says, jumped right into the premise. The dubbing is distracting, so she used subtitles instead. She liked the jerkiness of the zombies. It took her a minute to get into it, but after a few minutes, she really got into it. So yeah, I love hashtag alive. It's a really
Oh
cool
yeah.
one. I need to watch the American remake. I have it on my list,
Oh,
and I
I thought I watched that.
any good?
What was it called?
Was
Hashtag Alive?
it wasn't? I don't think it's called Patient Zero or something like. That had a different name for sure. I just don't remember off the top of my
Yeah,
head.
I think I watched it, and I remember thinking it was okay, but I could be completely wrong with that. Hmm. I'll have to
Yeah,
find it. All right, that for what watched?
that's it.
All right, getting the Devil's Rejects.
Yes.
All right, Devil's Rejects, 2005, directed by Mr. Rob Zombie. This summer, go to hell. The murderous backwoods Firefly family take to the road to escape the vengeful Sheriff Wydell, who is not afraid of being as ruthless as his target. So, a direct sequel to, what is it, '03? House of Thousand Corpses?
Yeah. Yep.
And this one starts out with our fireflies. We got Baby, we got Otis, Mama Firefly, we got Rufus, we got Tiny. We don't have Grandpa. What happened to Grandpa? I know the actor passed away, but
I
it's
mean,
not. They recast
they
Karen Black.
replaced Mother. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
So
Grandpa's just fucking dead. No professor, no Dr. Satan, although he is in a deleted scene. But I don't know. We'll see. Completely different house from the first one, which I don't like.
right. I almost like you almost don't like you have to like really make the connection in your head because it
Yeah.
doesn't really look like it at
Is this
all.
their vacation home that we're seeing?
Maybe. Yeah.
But yeah, so Wydell the sheriff, that's brother dude from the main cop, from the first one who gets blown away by Karen Black. He's fucking figured it out, dude. They go to the Firefly's family and they're like, come outside, motherfucker, or you're under arrest. And then of course the Fireflies start shooting at him. There's a shootout with law enforcement. Lots of cops dead. They kill Rufus. They capture Mama Firefly, and Otis and Baby escape through a tunnel that for some reason no cops go after them when there's one exit to this fucking house, and even the captive cheerleaders saw them go out it. You think that some cop will go down the stairs and be like, "Hey, did you see him? Yeah, they went that way," and the movie's over. You know what I mean? But they don't follow them. They get away. They go on a run. Sheriff Wydell is fucking, pulling out all the stops, dude. He gets down Diamond Dallas Page. He gets Danny Trejo as some fucking some backwoods fucking hillbilly bullshit. What are they?
Like
Bounty
bounty
hunters?
hunters. Yeah.
Yeah, to go after them. I feel like anyone can fucking track down Otis and Baby.
Yeah, no kidding. They're
They're
so
fucking
not subtle about anything.
they're killing everybody and robbing, stealing cars, and they got Sid Haig. They find out he's in it. He's involved too because they found a bunch of picture albums because you got to document your murders, dudes, right? So they find picture albums and they see Captain Spaulding's in there. So Spaulding goes on the run with them because he's like the dad of Baby too. I don't remember if they talked about that in the first one or not, but he's
Hmm.
Baby's dad. And so the three of them are on a mission to get out of here. They go to Ken Foray, who's a pimp, and he runs like a almost like a little town of pimping. And he has a bunch of hoes, and he's got Michael Berryman who plays like the fucking handyman. I don't know, the cleaner, and he's a chicken fucker. He's sexually frustrated, and yeah, we're just following along as the sheriff tries to track them down. The Fireflies, torment more people, kill more people, and uh, and that's it. They change a ton of stuff from the first one. Take it or leave it, but we'll get to that soon. Um, Overall, I really like this film. I don't love it, and I don't think it's his best film. I know a lot of people would state that Devil's Rejects is his best one or their favorite one, but I'm far from that train. I think it's serviceable, but there's so much changes to the original lore that I don't agree with or like or whatever you want to say that it doesn't have it up on that pedestal for me. But I still really like it. What about you, Steve?
Yeah, so when I first joined Letterboxd, I rated 10 movies, like just from memory, right? And then I stopped myself and I thought, you know what? Maybe with Letterboxd, I should start it where it's only movies I watch as of today. But I still had those 10 movies in, and this is what was one of those 10 movies, and I had it at 4.5 out of 5. And I remember thinking, I think Devil Reject is a better movie than House of a Thousand Corpses, even though I like House better, if that makes sense. But upon this rewatch, I don't feel that way anymore. I think House is a way better movie in almost every way. Now, I like Devil's Rejects, but it definitely got knocked down a peg for me. It's just all over the place. Like, there's so many like weird decisions and kind of almost like plot holes, and they move from thing to thing so quickly. They don't let anything like breathe or rest that it becomes kind of like just a smorgasbord of just different ways to make Otis look like a fucking psycho and Baby to, do baby things, like just yell at people. And like even Captain Spaulding, he's out of makeup for the majority of the film, which is a bummer because he's such an amazing character. And it's still cool though, because I mean, like you said, the cast is fucking fantastic. It's a who's who of horror, William Forsythe and Dave Sheridan as the cops. You got Lou Temple as one of the victims. You got, like you said, super randomly, fucking DDP, Danny Trejo as the bounty hunters. It was entertaining, but I don't know. I just felt a little bit lower on it this time.
Yeah, agreed. And I it's weird because I think Captain Spaulding, Otis, Baby, they're all really cool characters that I really enjoy, but I don't like us trying or having a root for them in the second one, if that makes
Right.
sense. Because like they're like the anti-heroes in this one, and they make it like, cool 70s music and they're really badass. But at the end of the day, they're not badass. They're just fucking murderers.
Yeah.
And they're preying on people that are like helpless. Like you assault a woman in front of her kid, Captain Spaulding, like
Hmm.
that's fucking
Right.
weird. Like I love them in Corpses because
Right.
traditional victims, teens being a little cocksuckers, and who gives a fuck. But like this one, I'm like, I'm not down with rooting for them in this one.
Yeah, they're also like super racist for no reason, and yeah, yeah, it just, I mean, fucking Otis, just his mouth doesn't stop,
Oh
for
God.
she's like, I love the scene in a way that it's entertaining, but God, the character is annoying at times. Where he's just like walking with Lou Temple and that other guy. I always forget the other guy's name. And
Courtney Gaines?
yeah, that's right, Courtney.
Yeah.
Thank you. So he's like kind of just walking them,
They're chilling.
and he's just like constantly saying shit and looking at them to get a reaction,
Hmm.
and they're not really reacting to what he's saying, so he just keeps like fucking
He's
talking.
just a bully, yeah.
Yeah, he's just such a bully, and you're right. If so for some reason it's harder to root, and he was bad in the first one. I mean, he's killing fucking cheerleaders that
Yeah.
didn't deserve it and all that stuff. Absolutely, there's no denying that he was bad. But I agree. For some reason, in this one, it just felt like almost gratuitous in a way, and it wasn't like earned. It was just yeah, it was weird.
Yeah, I think it's just because they lean into the anti-hero when there's no reason to. Like the cop going after him is 100% justified,
Yeah,
you know? So
absolutely.
like he murdered his brother, plus he murdered all these kids, you know? And I think it's just maybe because Rob Zombie tries to lean into the rejects being more grounded in a way, because
Right.
where there's very little like supernatural shit, unlike the
Hmm.
first one. And it's definitely like I would compare Corpses to maybe like Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 or something, where it's kind of like
Yeah.
over the top but still enjoyable. But this one I would almost compare it to like a Spit on Your Grave kind of thing,
Mm.
where like
Yeah.
you enjoy it, but you're not really having a good time watching it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's also what makes A Thousand Corpses so good is it's so colorful
Hmm.
and unique looking, you know? Whereas this one, it's very like brown tones and very desert, like kind of Texas, tone to it. And it's a little like dull,
Yeah.
especially compared to Corpses. And you're right, they humanize everyone so much that it takes away kind of what was special about them in the first time. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know. It's like he wanted to make a 70s crime drama instead of a horror movie. And
Right.
kind of left the horror out. I mean, Otis isn't like doesn't oh what's it called? Albino anymore. He's just
Right. He's just a white guy,
fine.
white hair, like gray hair, like he's just old. Yeah.
Baby, it's weird because Sherry Moon, we've talked about this before. Her performance in Corpses is fucking awesome. Like she's over the top, yeah, but it 100% works. But in this one, it's almost like this is the start of her decline from like
Right.
fitting a character and acting her very well to I don't even know how to explain it honestly.
Yeah.
Is
We
it the
just,
like subtle racism? I don't get her song. Like, is that
oh
supposed to
yeah.
be scary to me? Like the
The
Chinese
Chinese
Japanese?
Japanese. Yeah. It's weird. It's really not needed.
Hmm.
She was
She does it
already
like
torturing
20
people.
minutes. Yeah.
Yeah. No, exactly. It's just, and like how many, I get it. It's nice, but how many shots of her ass do we need in this movie?
Do
Like, it's
we had
like,
like four different shots, which
that's almost
yes.
his transition. Like his transition pieces is fucking Sherry Moon's ass, you know?
Yeah. He's like, this is what I got, just reminding you guys.
Yeah, right?
Um, so all right, they go on the run. We already talked about how dumb as fuck it is that the cops don't follow into
Yeah.
that one area they can get out of. They don't, so dumb. Um, Karen Black or not Karen Black, rest in
Yeah.
peace. The
But
girl
what
that
should have
replaced
been
her.
Karen Black?
Yeah.
Well, she was still
She
alive, I think,
was she?
during this. I think so, no?
Okay. I thought
I,
she
I,
had passed, but I don't recall.
I thought I looked it up and she was still alive, so I was
Mm.
like,
Maybe it was a Three from Hell thing where Sid was very
yeah,
sick
yeah,
and
yeah,
couldn't,
that's a whole other thing.
which we won't even get into.
Yeah. Well, you can listen to our episode if you want to hear about
Yeah.
it.
Which I actually bought that 4K on eBay for $2 the other day. I'm
Nice.
like, fuck it, $2, I'm buying it.
Yeah, you got to complete the collection. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
Um, but anyway, like, yeah, they get away and then, oh, where's my thought going? Oh, they get to the hotel. They get to a motel, right? For some reason, they go to a motel. Oh, it was like a rally point for Spalding to meet them there at the hotel and they can
Right.
get away. So they
Well,
take this.
before you get there, how did you feel about Spaulding's introduction in the movie with his dream sequence where
I
he's
thought
like, yeah, it was weird. It
he's
was too
fucking Ginger Lynn from
right
the porn
from
days.
yeah, from porn fame.
I, I actually thought it was funny because like he was having a wet dream and then he wakes up to his reality. And he's like, "Shut up, bitch!" But which is, I don't know. I just want him to be. I don't want to know more about his life. I
Right.
just want him to be a figure in the murder room or the murder ride area, the gas station. Like
Yeah.
that's where I want him to live in my mind.
Hmm.
Like they couldn't walk out and we couldn't see that again. Like I'm sure his room is in the back office to that area,
You would think so, yeah.
but I don't know.
Hmm.
You didn't like that opening?
I don't know. It just felt I don't know,
He was just showing booby and butt for to show
basically,
booby and butt.
right?
Yeah,
And he wants to show that it's not just about like hot women, it's about like all sorts of sizes and
guys.
I don't know. It's just a weird scene to me. Like maybe because yeah, like you said, Captain Spaulding is so terrifying in the first one, and his introduction is terrifying. And the fuck, we talked about this during House. The DVD intro was terrifying.
Oh yeah.
Like so it dishumanizes him so much. It's just he's in his room, he's in his bed. It's just I don't
Mhm.
know. It just didn't feel right for me.
Yeah, but you know that fucking room smells like shit.
Oh my God. Oh God. Shit the bed, right? That's what
Oh,
he
and he had
says.
he had a big old poop stain on his tidy whities too,
Yeah, yeah, he
which
did.
is hilarious.
Probably hasn't cleaned that shit in
Ugh.
fucking weeks.
But yeah, they go to the motel and they take this traveling band hostage and they immediately, sexually assault them,
Mhm.
murder them, torture them. And that scene goes on way too long. That
It
that whole
does.
sequence. And
It,
you're telling me no one in the motel hears their screaming and gunshots because they checked
right?
in. There's a check-in desk and we
Just
see
check
that there's a cleaning lady.
yeah, exactly. Although I will say the cleaning lady's sequence is probably one of my favorites in the movie.
Mm,
When she goes there and the fucking just absolute horror and then the girl that chases her with the fucking Lou Temple face mask.
yeah.
I fucking love that scene. It's so cool.
Oh, and there's a giant fuck you too when she gets run over by the semi truck.
Right? Yeah, yeah. Which is almost
Yeah.
like cartoony in a way, but I still liked it. It was especially like
Yeah.
the way that they film like the after effect of that, where it's like pieces of her like
Yeah.
kind of all over the road, and then her leg just actually looked like an actual like what you would see in an accident video, like the leg all like
Hmm.
scrunched up and gross, while the other leg's fine, and yeah, that was a really cool scene.
Yeah. Do you think Otis and Baby have had incestuous
Oh
relationships?
yeah, fuck yeah! Are you kidding me? Like,
Okay, because Otis is like constantly saying, "Look at her hot body. You're not looking at my sister's hot body. Why aren't you looking at her hot body?" And like, shut up, you weirdo.
yeah, well, I mean, this whole family has probably done incestuous crap. It's a weird family, yeah.
What do you think happened to Grandpa? Just dies off screen?
Probably, yeah. Probably dies at some point in house. Yeah.
All right, so where do we go from here? We meet Diamond Dallas Page and Danny Trejo at that highway run over
Yep.
scene.
hmm Kind of introduced out of nowhere, they have an entire police force that can do this, but
Right.
let's get these two bounty hunters to get, like you said, the two most obvious fucking criminals ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? Oh, we have PJ Souls in there too, who Captain Spaulding steals her car from and says, "You don't like fucking clowns" or something like that,
Right.
which is kind of iconic line he says. Uh, but yeah, he fucks with that kid, man. I'll come back and kill you and your whole fucking family. Calm down.
Yeah. What about them getting ice creams or like begging Otis to get the
Tutti
fucking
fucking
ice
fruity.
creams? Yeah, dude, you fucking free.
It was a funny comedic moment,
What? Yeah, for
but
sure.
once again,
They went to
they
a
have a
store and
giant
just
trail.
yeah,
You think they put their picture out in the news? We saw that.
right.
Yet they're going everywhere free of charge.
Yeah. So do you
Oh
think they
yeah, yeah.
killed whoever they got the ice cream from? Probably,
Oh, good
right?
question. Do you
Yeah.
think they went to like an ice cream store or something?
I mean, they had to, right? Well, maybe not I doubt there is an ice cream store. It's probably like at a fucking 7-Eleven type, but Texas version of a crappy at a gas
Oh,
station,
maybe. But they
Yeah.
had Tutti fucking Fruity. That's kind of like
Yeah,
not a common one. So I'm
that's
thinking
true.
like 31 flavors, Texas 1975 style.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a good point.
Yeah,
I
we need
imagine
to.
it's just like some dude on the side of the road selling ice cream.
Well, yeah, right. Yeah, probably, yeah, some kid.
Yeah.
But then again, who he wouldn't have Tutti Frutti
No, he
either.
would have
So,
vanilla.
yeah, exactly.
We're just arguing the fuck
Right,
where he got
right.
ice cream
Yeah,
from.
yeah. We went deep into the
Yeah.
movie and we're talking about
The ice cream
how they
lore.
got the ice cream. Yeah, we need
Let's
to get
see.
Rob Zombie. That's question one.
Oh, what happened to Spalding's pink Cadillac?
Disappeared
First one.
with
It's gone.
Grandpa. I mean, that's what happened to the Grandpa.
It's with Grandpa.
Grandpa
He
took
stole
the
it.
fucking pink Cadillac. Yeah,
I would, man, I wonder why they took the Dr. Satan scene out. Because it was a cool kill.
yeah, and people really like Doctor Satan from the
Yeah.
first one. So
Do you think it's because he
yeah,
wanted to not make it fantastical like the first one?
yeah, that seems to be what it was, right? Is to take out all of the supernatural elements. Were there any supernatural elements in this at all? I can't think of any. I mean,
Besides
other
them surviving
living,
headshots.
but that's more of a Three from Hell thing than
Yeah.
a Devil's Rejects thing.
I don't think there's any supernatural in this. Not that I
No.
can remember.
Yeah, which is maybe what's missing, just it doesn't feel consistent for this world.
Yeah.
It just feels kind of, I don't know, it feels weird.
Yeah, it's a complete flip. Like if you
Yeah.
watch these back to back, it's like
Like
completely
what
different
happened?
styles.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Um, you know what I hate though, and I think it's just a giant fucking waste of time, is when the sheriff calls the local film critic
Oh
and it's
yeah, the
like,
whole
"Can you
Groucho Marx
explain to
scene.
me, yeah, can you explain to me what these characters' names are? Like, why?
Right.
Why? You know who these fucking people are."
Right?
And then I think that whole scene is just for him to be like, "Don't you ever discredit Elvis Presley again."
Yeah, basically. Yeah, that's Rob Zombie's like hard on for his like childhood heroes, John Wayne, Elvis Presley. It's
Yes.
yeah, it is a weird scene too because if it was like an unsolved mystery where the guy, like they didn't know who the killers were and they're using trails that are references to Groucho Marx, maybe I can see them bringing in someone who's an expert to try to decipher all that shit. No, they fucking know who the killers are. They know where like it makes no sense to figure out like, oh, that's where Captain Spaulding came from. That's where, like
Yeah, why? Why does it matter?
nothing. It added nothing to the story. It was just an empty reference basically.
And
Like,
didn't they use that? Didn't it lead to them catching them at the fucking whorehouse? That's like the whole thing. Like my guy once did time with someone that was on this list who did time with this guy.
oh
I
really?
think it was something stupid like that. Yeah.
I don't remember that. I thought it was just
Yeah,
them
it was
figuring
throwaway.
out that Ken Foree was, someone tied to them, so they bribed
Yeah, they
him.
did through that list.
Yeah, it's through that list.
Yeah.
Oh
hmm
yeah, it's yeah,
So our favorite guy, Ken Foray, is a pimp.
yes,
Um,
yes.
he's got hookers and stuff, and then
He's got a compound. It's quite
he's got a
the
fucking dude. He's got armed guards. You
right,
know what? The first place I'm looking is this fucking compound.
right.
They know the cops know, 100% know it's there.
Yeah.
Ay, ay, ay,
Which
man.
brings us to the again one of those super weird scenes, the chicken fucking scene.
So out of place.
It make there's no point to this scene. Like it's funny, but
Yeah.
it doesn't add anything to the story. Those
What is
chickens
the
don't
point?
come back to play at some point.
What was the point though? What was the setup? They were getting fried chicken or something?
They want Spalding to make fried chicken, so they want to get the
Oh,
chickens for it.
so they put a whole scene in
Yeah, a
just
whole
for that.
scene, yeah, where they're talking about fucking chickens out of nowhere. Well,
The
maybe
movie's
it's
111 minutes long, man. We could have cut
yeah,
that 10-minute sequence.
yeah, exactly.
But I mean, yeah, you're right. It's funny. Like Michael Berryman goes with Ken Foray to this random dude, and he's like, "That boy over there looks sexually frustrated." He's like, "You ever fuck these chickens?" He's, "I ain't no chicken fucker, boss." And I don't know. It makes zero sense. Funny, like you said.
Yeah, but
Why?
pointless. Yeah.
I don't know. Like it maybe if Spalding was frying up some chicken later, I don't know, dude.
Yeah. Do you know the story behind this movie? Like, so we know that Rob Zombie had a hell of a time making the first one, right?
Yeah.
A lot of like issues with the Universal
Yeah.
and all that shit. So, what was the deal with this one? Because maybe he needs that. Like, he's one of those guys that needs that fucking filter, you
I think
know?
yeah. I
Because
think we said that too. Like he
yeah,
gets way too
I'm
much
pretty sure.
leeway.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah, because this matches more of the stuff later, right? Like the 31s and the
Yeah.
Lords of Salem and all that stuff. So, yeah.
Yeah. He definitely needs some oversight.
Hmm.
And I mean, that's probably the practical reason why we didn't see the house return because it was on like the Universal backlot.
Right.
But like in my head, at least try to make it look like the property. It didn't look
Right.
a single thing like the property.
No, absolutely.
It's ridiculous, dude.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, so Ken Foray is caught by like the sheriff, and the sheriff makes him sell him out.
Hmm.
So I'm gonna be here at midnight. You're gonna fucking let me in or some shit. And then he does. And then sheriff captures them, takes them back to the Firefly Mansion, and tortures them for hours on end, which doesn't end for some reason.
Right.
Just kill him, you fucking idiot. Like you
Yeah.
won.
Yeah. And that might be the only kind of supernatural thing is that they don't die in that fire and they come completely unscathed from that fucking inferno inside the house. Like not
Yeah.
even a fucking blister on any of them.
Hey, Michael Myers did it in Halloween
Yeah,
2018.
but he's supernatural,
That's
right?
true. That's
So
true. Oh, there you go. There's your supernatural. Three from hell.
yeah, they just walk out like the
Yeah.
house is like it's not a little bit on fire. Like that thing is,
The whole fucking thing.
yeah. Although I did like to see Tiny come back
Mhm.
in that last scene, because I really like Tiny. He's such a great character. It actually sucks that we don't see him for the majority of the movie. He only shows up right at the beginning and right at the end.
I think he passed right during before the release of this.
Yeah, or yeah, not far after,
Yeah.
if it wasn't. And it's a sad ending too that he goes back to the house to die with it. Like
Yeah, he
that,
walks
that
into the flames, right?
yeah, that's like his place, right? That's
Yeah.
his place in the world is that house. So he just walks back into the house after he
Yeah.
saved everyone.
Which is maybe the only or the closest to the nicest family member we have.
Yeah,
It's Tiny.
I would think so. Yeah.
Um,
I mean, he's
yeah,
still complicit. He's
right,
still
right.
helps them with all the murders and stuff. But yeah.
Yeah. Also a really nice guy. I met him
Oh
at
yeah.
a
Oh
con
yeah.
in like 2005-ish. Around
Yeah.
actually around when this movie came out. So
Yeah. But what did you get a house poster signed with all of them or
I didn't get
rejects?
anything signed from him because I was an idiot, but I
Yeah.
met him. But I have a corpses poster with Bill, Sid, and Rufus.
Okay.
I think the ending sequence goes on way too long. How do you feel about Wydell having a dream about his dead brother, saying you have to finish this, and it kind of makes him snap.
Like
Ke-
whatever.
Take it or leave
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, take it or leave it. It didn't do much for me. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. What about you?
I like seeing that character again because I liked him from the first one.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, it doesn't do a lot to progress the story. I think we already assumed he was gonna snap,
Yeah.
especially like I think right after that he murders uh Mama Firefly
Mm.
in the fucking jail of all places.
All right.
So you're definitely going to prison.
Yeah.
Uh,
I,
but
I
yeah,
I like William Forsythe a lot.
oh me
He's got
too.
really cool, but I don't love his character in this. It's not one of my favorite of his.
Is it because you took the Aaron Presley's name in
Yeah,
vain?
maybe.
I actually like him. I enjoy him. He's over the top, but
He's very
it
over the
fits.
top. It's actually ironic that he's over the top in this, but Dave Sheridan is kind of not.
Dave Sheridan is good,
He's
dude.
good in this. This is probably his best. This and well, obviously Doofy, right, is
Yeah.
most memorable. Which I mean, he still dresses up as Doofy to this day. So, but he's actually like a legit good actor in this
Yeah,
movie.
he's level-headed.
Yeah,
He's the only sane actor in this movie, or
right.
sane
This
character in this movie.
I'll give him this in the special. He's actually really good in the special as
Oh,
well.
yes, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, which
No,
is
he's a great
ironic.
actor.
He's very yeah. He should do more serious roles, really.
No, he was perfect as like the kind of like not shy but timid-ish
Yeah, the rookie
deputy.
cop, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. He was good though. Rosario
Mhm.
Dawson too. She's in the deleted scene as the nurse that gets killed by
Yeah,
Dr.
that's too
Dane.
bad. Yeah,
Yeah.
that
But
actor.
all right, so Tiny snaps his neck and we kind of lose him and then Tiny kills himself and then we get to the free bird, which
Yeah.
when I watched it as a teenager, I thought it was fucking sick.
Oh
I'm like,
yeah,
oh, these
sure.
guys are badass.
Well, such a
Now
great
as
great song too, right?
oh yeah. But a 38-year-old, I'm like, this is not practical.
At all. No.
So set us up with Steve. What are we saying here?
Yeah, so they've escaped from the house. Tiny saved them from the fire, and they're just going to who knows where. Like,
Fucking more
they're
ice cream or something.
yeah, maybe, right? But as Otis is running his mouth, you see that the sheriffs and everyone have set up a big fucking line of cars, and they all got their guns pointed at him, and so they stop and they're like, you know what, fuck it, let's just end it here. So they take out their rifles and their guns, and they just drive towards the sheriffs and playing Freebird. And that's it. And they get shot up.
Bunch of
Fucking
times.
yeah, like
Way too many times.
and you see it specifically like explode on their chests and
Yeah.
like like there's no way they would survive
Mm-mm.
that. So
And when that car comes to arrest, they're gonna walk up and put more into them.
yeah, oh yeah,
Like,
absolutely. And not only survive, but survive without a scratch. Like
yeah, perfectly fine.
perfectly fine. Like Sherry Moon's ass has not had any
No,
like yeah. It's yeah, I don't
like,
know. It's weird.
yeah, cool if you're doing like a Thelma and Louise type movie, but
Yeah. But it made more sense in
horrors,
that movie.
yeah, horror sequel. Once again, it's like it reminds me when I try to write stuff that was like, this is badass, you
All
know?
right.
Like I think that's what he wanted. Like he wanted this to look badass, and it does, but it
Yeah.
doesn't fit the movie, man. It
Yeah.
doesn't fit the universe.
However, I do feel it was the right place to end this family.
Mhm.
You know, because I absolutely think they should have ended the series at Devil's Rejects,
Yeah.
and this family could not go on. Like at this point, they're way too famous, they're way too well known, there are too many cops after them. I thought this was the perfect ending for them, you know, to
Yeah.
die kind of in a gory, like, you know, kind of suicide mission. Despite the scene being kind of over the top, but
And despite it being a CGI too.
yeah, oh my God, yeah,
I'm
the
like, what are we
gunshots are
doing,
like,
Rob?
yeah, right,
Yeah, that was so disappointing. I imagine squibs practical, just like over the top Paul Verhoeven blood, like
yep,
splats. I did it
yeah.
with zero money, and this guy has, $20 million budget, whatever it is. Like, I do not understand. I can't fathom why he made that choice, the CGI blood, because it's so obvious.
Yeah, that's something that, you know, making a movie off, let's say 1500 for me, because that's like my portion of it.
Mm.
I can't even imagine the kind of crazy shit I would do with even 100,000, you know?
I don't even know where to begin.
Yeah, right? Like, God, things would fucking explode and blood
Yeah,
everywhere. Like, you know, it's just I don't get what people do with this money. Like
yeah.
outside of marketing a lot of shit, I'm talking about actual like budget for effects and stuff. Like, God
You don't even
damn,
need to
just
market though nowadays for like
yeah,
for
right.
you can do it all free. You just do campaigns yourself and go on
Hmm.
Facebook and get some likes from that. But
Yeah, and you think of like a big horror fan like Rob Zombie would not go the, you know, the fake
CG,
fucking CGI, especially for the big finale, you know?
yeah,
No,
it's
it
just
is what it
it's
is.
such a giant missed opportunity to just have a shit ton of blood.
Yeah.
But no, he didn't want to.
Hmm.
But yeah, and then they die, and then
Yep.
there's never a movie after
That's
this,
right. That was the end of this series. We'll never hear about it again.
which I kind of want to watch Three from Hell now since I got that 4K,
Yeah.
and I remember hating it, but maybe
Maybe
I'll
maybe
think differently.
time. Yeah, maybe time has changed your
Smiled
because
upon it.
well, yeah, but we also watched it like right when it came out because we
Hmm.
watched it I think from I don't no, I think it was
Yeah,
straight
I
to
think
digital. It was during COVID, right?
I don't, was it? I remember we covered it very, very soon to the launch of it.
Yeah, so it must have been digital. I don't remember seeing it in
Hmm.
theaters.
No, I think it did one of those little runs like Three from Hell did.
Okay.
But yeah, I think digital for us. But
Yeah. Anyway, like it was the shock of it, you know, the shock
mm,
of, wow, this is fucking so nothing like the other
yeah,
two and such a waste of the characters. And especially Spaulding's involvement was just, oh God,
oh yeah,
tough to watch, you know? So
oh yeah,
maybe with time, now that you've accepted it and you'll
yeah.
go off of it.
I'm gonna get that's gonna be in the next movie I watch because I remember Richard Brake,
Yeah.
the Midnight Wolfman or something. Like, who the
Hmm.
fuck is this? We didn't give a fuck about him because he's
Right.
new.
But now we
But
know who he is.
maybe
And
he's cool. I don't know. But yeah, Devil's Rejects. Anything else to add to this, man?
no, you know, like I said, I was disappointed this time because I remembered it being a lot better, and I just wasn't vibing with it as much. Like I still think it's a good movie. I still think it's one of Zombie's best, actually. You know, maybe top three
Out of
Zombies
six
out of
or
yeah.
seven?
I don't know. Like yeah, we realized last episode that we only have one left, and we've covered all of his live action features.
Which one was
So
that again that we had to do?
31.
31.
Yeah, probably around October. Maybe we'll do that one just to
Yeah,
finish it,
something like
right?
that. Might as well.
Yeah. So yeah, it was
I was
bummed.
trying to see if I ranked Rob Zombie's movies at all, but it doesn't look like I did. Oh, I did. I'm gonna have to change this, man. I don't think Devil's Rejects is my second favorite of his anymore. I think it's probably
Halloween.
Halloween or Lords of Salem. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So what do you rate
I give this one, and much as I shit on this one, the entire
it? Yeah,
review,
the entire review.
I still enjoy it because it's
Mhm.
still characters I do enjoy, not as much as this film. I think Corpses is 10 times better. I mean, Corpses is my top 10 horror movies of all
Yeah.
time. So, but I give Devil's Rejects a solid 3.5 out of 5.
Yeah, same score as me, so a full star down from the last time I watched it. The thing about Corpses is that I enjoy it more every time I watch it. I don't know what it is. Every time I see it, I just like it more and more. You know, I appreciate it more, and it's become like one of my every 2 year watches, you know? Whereas Rejects kind of going the other way. I think it's gonna
Yeah,
start like every time I watch it, it's just like I don't know, it's just disappointing me a little bit. But it's still, like you said, solid film. Like you said, the characters are still really cool. You know, Sid Haig is such a fucking legend.
it's good.
Otis is a great character. You know, maybe his What would you say? Would you say that's his best character? If you give it
Otis,
to
I go to Chop Top.
Top Top, yeah,
Yeah.
it's like they're kind of similar in a little bit in a way, but
Uh-huh.
also different. Yeah, yeah. But Chop Top is probably his better character of the two.
Yeah.
But yeah, I give it, yeah. So 3.5 out of 5.
All right. And the letterbox community itself gives it a 3.4, but my friends gave it a 3.5. So right at where we're at.
Nice. And I told Joe to review it so we can tell his review, and he didn't do it.
Nice.
So but he previously had it at a 4 out of 5.
Okay.
We'll have to find out next week if
Yeah.
he still holds to that 4 out of 5.
So budget for this one, 7 mil. Didn't do great, 20 mil. Still made profit,
I mean,
obviously, but
yeah, it's more than double.
yeah, I guess. But I wonder what Corpses did. Probably not even close to this one.
No, Corpses didn't. I don't remember it doing well. It's more of a like, you know, cult
It got
following
legs on
after.
DVD for sure.
Yeah,
Let's see real quick. It got 7 million for that one, 16 million gross. So basically the same thing.
yeah. I mean, I skipped class to go get the House of a Thousand Corpses DVD. I
That's
remember
right.
it
Didn't
was
you
in
get
the
like
mall. I got the
cards too?
cards. I got
Yeah.
the playing cards because for my effort. Because that was a thing they did around that time was they'd give you an item if you were like the first five to buy. So I'd always go at my stores and get there. I have like I have a Steve Zissou hat from Life Aquatic. I have cards from that. I have fucking bobblehead from Shrek. Like I have all sorts of weird little items from movies that I bought first
Very
day.
cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. All right. So I guess I'll close this out here. Stay tuned for the interview with
Yeah,
Miss Lin
absolutely.
Shaye after this. She's a sweetheart, and Steve and Joe are lucky enough to talk to her. You can find us on Letterbox. Our names: Todd, Steve, Joe, and the Horse Squad. You can find us on Letterbox, Instagram for the Horse Squad Podcast, Gmail, Horse Squad Podcast at gmail.com if you want to email us, but you can get in contact with us as a direct message on Instagram pretty easily. Also, we have that free Discord where Steve mentioned we have movie nights. We have people talking about books, talking about horror movies. Obviously, we have a
Gonna do
fancy
VR
football
this week.
club. VR is a fucking blast, dude. I got to go to that this week.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, follow us along on Indiegogo. The campaign's closed, but you can follow the movie on IMDb, Letterbox, all that shit for the final episode. And Steve, what we got coming up next week?
Oh, I'm excited. It was my most anticipated horror film of this year, and that is 28 years later. So
Ooh,
the beginning of a new trilogy. Apparently they
nice.
filmed the second one already, and it's coming out in January.
Ooh, that's
That,
quick
that's
turnaround.
that's fucking wild. Like, yeah.
Wow.
Anyway, yeah, really looking forward to it. It's got mixed reviews from what I'm hearing.
I haven't looked at a single thing because I'm trying to be
Yeah,
open-minded.
I don't know any of the details past that. I took off my like I muted the spoiler room in our Discord just to
Nice.
avoid it, but I'm still looking forward to it. I fucking love the series, so should be fun.
Yeah, for sure. All right, that calls it. See you guys. Bye.
Bye.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Horror Squad podcast, where today we have a very special treat for you as we are joined by a true legend and icon of the genre. You know her from countless films, but a lot of you will know her best, of course, as the heart and soul of the Insidious franchise. And today she is joining us to talk about her new film, House of Abraham. Please welcome the always incredible and amazing Lin Shaye. Lin, thank you so much for joining us today.
Oh my God. After that introduction, I think I'm done. I don't know if I can live up to that one. Thank you so much.
Of
You're so
course.
generous with me.
So House of Abraham is, it's such a fun and unique premise. Can you tell us what drew you to the script?
The premise, that was
Yeah.
exactly right. I mean, no one discusses this topic. And, I offered that they should maybe call it House of Suicide, and Lisa Belcher, the wonderful director, she said no, because people won't go see it. I mean, it is such a scary. I think too many people that we don't even know think of something like that. It's a very taboo subject. So that's what drew me to it. I thought that's why I'm an actor and an artist, is let's do the taboo stuff.
Yeah.
The other stuff, save for the comedy, could save for the comics.
Sure. Now, your character in this is unhinged, and I mean that in the best possible way. So can you tell us about your character and how you developed her?
Yeah, Beatrice is a needy human being. She is desperate for love and affection and recognition. That would be a way I would describe her, and would do anything to get it. And of course, when Abraham shows her even a flicker of interest for whatever their early story is, we talked about that and came up with some thoughts about how did Beatrice get there. And it may have been she had wanted to commit suicide at some point herself. And when you're a weak link, Abraham's character leaps on that. He likes it when you're weak and needy. And he realizes he can totally manipulate her and she can do his bidding, and he needs an assistant. So hey, it becomes don't die, I'll love you, I'll be here for you. And I feel that was kind of my inner monologue, that she is desperate for him to love her. And of course, she's a toad to him.
Yeah.
But she does what he tells her.
Mhm.
So and that sort of changes her entire demeanor and gives her that place in the story, and in terms of the desperate an actor's job is always to know, what is it you need? She needs him, and she wants to be as tall as him.
The character of Abraham and the whole setup of people willingly coming to this place to die is absolutely haunting. As an actor, how do you prepare for something that's so heavy and existential?
I think you go right to the beginning of the story again. I actually couldn't ever think about that part of it, which is the way the audience will absorb the material. I mean, for me, it was about a little woman who was desperate to be loved and recognized. That was for me what the story was about. And that anything in the way of that was done. She was going to do whatever she needed to do to get rid of it, and she would do anything he told her to do to get rid of it. So she suddenly, I mean, and I think, people that are fragile who have such desperate needs, that's when we're in trouble. That's when they grab on to things that are horrible and, end up often being their demise.
Mhm.
Um, and it's really pretty not simple, but pretty. We need love, we need recognition, we need to feel needed and wanted. We need to feel we have a purpose. And I think when those things, parents can rape their children, not, I don't mean that literally, but of that, they can make them feel that they can't have that unless they behave or they this or that. I think that's how people get ruined, and children can get ruined,
Mhm.
is that they're not allowed to be recognized. And Beatrice was a classic example of that, I think.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I want to shift gears and talk about Lucas Hassel, who, as Abraham, was incredible in this film. He really stands out. And he also, wrote the movie as well, which I think is amazing. So I want to know, if you can talk a little bit about him, but also, having the writer, on set with you and acting alongside you. What was the vibe like? What was did he like sort of influence your role throughout?
Lucas is really a one-man genius band.
Hmm.
I mean, there's nothing he can't do, I feel like. And I think he feels that way too, which is allows it to happen. He's prolific in terms of his writing and in terms of his ideas. Must say he was one of the easiest actors I've ever worked with in terms of uh, opening himself to my ideas, to what I wanted to try or do. He was a pleasure to work with on set in every way. And any ideas, especially, it felt like we were really a unit. It wasn't him and us. We were all together in the storytelling, and he was very, very open and communicative with us about changing something or explaining why he wanted that to be that way. And I had a wonderful time working with him. I mean, he was very focused on set. No, he had a lot of responsibility, a
Hmm.
lot of lines, a lot of, well, he's the, writer and creator of this whole scenario. So, uh, he was really wonderful. Bottom line, he was wonderful to work with, extremely creative, extremely giving. I wanted this sort of love story between him and Beatrice, and he didn't really see it as that in the beginning. I mean, he didn't write it like that. But once we found that, we sort of, he immediately sort of supported me and, resisted me. And, it made it easy for us to have that relationship on screen. Great guy, great talent.
The house is incredible and plays a big role in this movie. It's so like strangely serene. Did the set help you like sink into this story, into this character?
Yes and no. I mean, I remember it was beautifully decorated, in terms of the set design. And there were his paintings, because there's the thing. I love that opening scene where I'm taking the guest upstairs. She thinks she's the hostess, and here's the paintings that so it's sort of that he created. This is his creation, which makes me love him even more. And there was actually the backyard. This was an incredible piece of property, this rolling green, endless hills and big picture windows. So, and this is what I was given to live in. This is my home also. And so the set design and your environment, of course, plays a big part. Sometimes you have to pretend, where you're in a freaking closet, and you got to pretend, there's a magical, a fabulous chandelier that's hanging, so this made it very easy to sort of absorb into the character and where she felt so lucky to be. So yeah, it does. It definitely helped. It was a beautiful house. I mean, really beautiful house.
Well, Lynn, unfortunately, our time is running short. I mean, we could talk to you all day. You're just a legend, and it was a pleasure having you on. But one final question, for House of Abraham. The film deals with, isolation, grief, belief, but there's also the message about choosing life as well. So what do you hope viewers walk away after seeing the film?
That's a great question. I think people will walk away with a lot of different things, because I think gives me goose pimples a little bit. It'll stimulate sort of latent thoughts that we maybe all have had at some point. And it's very scary. For me, one of the scariest scenes in the movie, and this is not I don't think I'm giving anything away, is the scene in the pool,
Mm-hmm.
in the cage. I don't know how many people are worried about drowning or not being able to breathe, but that for me was truly one of the scariest scenes I've ever seen in a film, because it generated the fear in me. And I think different people are afraid of different things. So I think there's a lot in this movie that will trigger fear. I mean, it's truly really a horror film in the most literal sense.
Mm-hmm.
And stuff you don't want to think about, or you've chosen not to think about, but it's entertainment. So you're going to go and you're going to see it. And I think it's going to leave, hopefully in a positive way, for people to think about positive choices. But I think it will stimulate thoughts that we've all had that have been very dark and very private.
Yeah, very well said, Lynn. Once again, everyone, please go check out House of Abraham. It's now playing in select theaters. It will be hitting digital very soon as well. Lynn, thank you again so much. Anything else you have coming out, or where can the fans follow you?
I can't remember right now. I think what's coming out? There are a couple things coming out, but I can't really talk too much about.
Okay.
But always follow me. I love
course.
all of you guys. I would have no career if it wasn't for you, and I'm appreciative of your appreciation. And the Horror Squad, they're the best. I'm telling you. I know you guys. So thank you for the wonderful interview.
Of
And
course.
it's opening at the Laemmle Royal in LA on Friday, June 20th. Come and see, and dare you come and see.
Ooh. Thank you, Lynn.